From ABC, this is World News Saturday. Here's Jed Rose.
Good evening. President Clinton summoned his national security team back to the White House today to talk about Bosnia after Secretary of State Warren Christopher returned from his trip overseas with discouraging results. Frustrated by the Allies' reluctance to step up military action there, the president decided to turn his efforts in a new direction. White House correspondent Kathleen Delaski reports.
Summoned to the White House after his trip to lobby the Allies, the Secretary of State brought some good news and some bad news. He told the president and top advisors that the Europeans are willing to take stronger action against the Bosnian Serbs, but they have yet to agree to the U.S. plan, which calls for short-term airstrikes and a lifting of the arms embargo. After the meeting, Christopher left to telephone his counterparts in Europe, mainly to push a new non-military track. Now the U.S. and allies will look for ways to monitor this border between Serbia and Bosnia. The Serbian president, Slobodan Milosevic, has pledged to cut off military supplies flowing to his Serbian allies in Bosnia. But the U.S. wants to see if he's serious. One U.S. option is to use UN peacekeepers to monitor the border, but European allies who have provided the troops in Bosnia want the U.S. to join in such a dangerous mission. One senator, just back from the Balkans, says the Europeans are stalling.
This is a debating ploy by Europeans. Europe is going to have to make a decision in the next week or so as to whether to follow President Clinton's plan, and I think they will do so.
But the plan may be changing with events in the Balkans. The Serbian president has eased the sense of urgency for the Europeans and for the White House. President Clinton may be stepping back from the brink of his first military action, at least for now. Kathleen Delaski, ABC News, the White House.
In Sarajevo today, the commander of UN forces there, General Philippe Morillon, persuaded the Bosnian government and Serb military commanders to sign a new ceasefire agreement, one that would cover the entire country beginning at noon tomorrow. But Morillon failed to get his troops into the Muslim towns of Zepa and Gorazde, 2 of 6 areas the UN declared as safe havens this week. More on that now from ABC's Hillary Brown.
General Morillon spent a good part of the day trying to negotiate agreement for so-called safe zones around the 2 Muslim enclaves. But the Muslim president said he couldn't ask the town's defenders to lay down their arms unilaterally in exchange for withdrawal of Serb forces who keep their weapons.
This agreement would envision a unilateral disarmament of only our troops in Zepa and Gorazde. We have to reject this.
Outside the presidency, a small crowd of refugees from the 2 towns surrounded General Morillon and begged him to go into the enclaves himself, as he did 2 months ago in Srebrenica.
What I did for Srebrenica, I will try to do for Zepa.
Survivors describe conditions in Gorazde and Zapa as a living hell. This amateur videotape shows dead bodies lying uncollected in the streets, hundreds of wounded from the constant shelling, their injuries untreated because of lack of medical supplies. And there's some skepticism here about the whole concept of safe havens. The company of Canadian UN troops sent in to demilitarize Srebrenica last month are in an exposed position, with armed Serb forces still outside the town. The Canadian peacekeepers are clearly unequipped to protect the people should the Serbs break the ceasefire and attack again. Today, the new commander of British UN forces said in Vitez that there is no such thing as a safe haven.
I don't believe that anybody can make any area, whether it be an inner city or a safe area in an eastern enclave, safe.
This afternoon, General Morillon left for Pale, the Bosnian Serb political headquarters, to try to negotiate some kind of compromise that would finally lift the siege of Zapa and Gorazde and end the nightmare of its inhabitants.
The question is why the Bosnian Serb forces are willing to withdraw from towns they besieged for over a year. The answer is not just that they'd like to see their Muslim opponents disarmed, they also have a very real fear of being bombed. Hillary Brown, ABC News, Bosnia.
A program note, the question of what to do in Bosnia will be the topic tomorrow on This Week with David Brinkley. In an interview with U.S. News and World Report, former third-party candidate Ross Perot suggests the White House might want to go to war in Bosnia to distract Americans from what he called President Clinton's failings at home. The White House calls Perot's remarks, quote, outrageous. The magazine conducted a poll showing that Perot is still remarkably popular and would be running in a dead heat with President Clinton if the election were being held today. And as World News Saturday continues, the alleged Iraqi plot to assassinate former President George Bush. And later in this broadcast, why the rejects and retreads of the Philadelphia Phillies are moving on up to the big time. And Santa Cruz, California, where the streets are alive with the sound of music.
World News Saturday, brought to you by Nissan.
It has a highly advanced, finely tuned suspension, a powerful V6 engine, and a specially designed steering system that responds instantly to the slightest turn of the wheel. The 7-passenger Nissan Quest. It doesn't handle like a car. It handles like a very good car. The Nissan Quest. It's time to expect more from a minivan.
The facts, just the facts. When you buy a Price Pfister, you get far more Fawcett. Starting with a fabulous engineering inside, on top of which they add fashion galore. Far more Fawcett for far less money. Which is why nothing, in fact, compares to Price Pfister. The fabulous Fawcett with a funny name.
Did Saddam Hussein order an attempt on the life of former President George Bush? The Clinton administration reportedly has evidence that there was indeed an Iraqi plan to kill Bush 3 weeks ago while he was in Kuwait. ABC's Bob Zelnick reports now on how the plot was foiled and whether the U.S. will retaliate.
Kuwait has arrested 16 suspects, including 11 Iraqi nationals, whose alleged plot to destabilize the Kuwaiti government included plans to kill George Bush. The former president, his family, and several top aides visited Kuwait last month to accept belated thanks for liberating the country and driving Iraqi troops out. Now it turns out that Saddam Hussein may also have tried to square accounts with Mr. Bush on that trip by trying to kill him. After intercepting 2 cars filled with explosives, wire, and triggering devices, Kuwaiti police have charged that Iraqi agents had planned attempts at Mr. Bush's life at 3 separate locations, 2 involving car bombs and 1 a suicide attack by a man wrapped with explosives. Kuwait maintains it has proof that the plot, which never came close to succeeding, was the work of the Baghdad government.
Well, the strongest evidence is, of course, the confessions from the top leaders of this group, the conspirators.
Last week, President Clinton sent a team of FBI and CIA agents to Kuwait to examine the evidence. Justice Department sources say the 2 cars packed with 550 pounds of explosives had been stolen from Kuwait by Iraqi occupation forces. They say the cars entered Kuwait from Iraq's heavily militarized Jahara province, another sign pointing to official Iraqi collaboration. White House spokesman George Stephanopoulos today said the administration views the matter seriously and would take appropriate action if the Iraqi connection is proved, but he indicated the matter is still under investigation. Some administration officials reportedly want to bomb Iraq for trying to kill a former president. The problem with that is the U.S. has never figured out how to hit Saddam, and anything less than a sustained massive campaign barely seems to get his attention. Bob Zelnick, ABC News at the Pentagon.
The war that George Bush waged and won against Saddam Hussein was brief compared to other modern wars such as Vietnam and Korea. But it lasted long enough to inflict the same emotional damage that soldiers suffered in those other conflicts. ABC's Linda Patillo visited with some Gulf War veterans who have yet to find peace.
In the 2 years since the fighting stopped, many veterans have been troubled by their memories.
It was fear. It was anger. It was frustration. And they said that when I got home, I'd be fine.
And were you?
No, I haven't been.
Judy Griggers spent 3 months in the Gulf as an operating room nurse with an Army Reserve unit. Since coming home, she has trouble sleeping, high blood pressure, and severe pain in her joints. Judy is one of 50,000 Persian Gulf veterans suffering psychological problems readjusting because of wartime stress. For years, storefront veteran centers like this one in Birmingham, Alabama, have been counseling Vietnam veterans with post-traumatic stress disorder. Recently, more and more Persian Gulf veterans have been showing up at their doors.
How have you been?
Here, veterans of earlier wars offer one-on-one counseling. The Desert Storm veterans learn to deal with their pain by talking about it and learning that they are not alone.
I guess kind of black out.
Gulf veterans like William Hicks say they lived in constant fear of attack by Iraqi chemical weapons and Scud missiles.
It works on your nerves, you know. Never knowing what to expect or when to expect it.
It was a high-tech war, so even people who were in the rear were jeopardized and were under some form of threat.
Unlike any previous war, women served in large numbers in the Gulf. The Veterans Administration is offering special counseling for women and for families of all veterans.
How do you think things are going now?
This woman served 6 months in the Gulf.
We don't know if you're going to come back or what's going to happen. That's very traumatic for anybody.
She asked that her identity be hidden because she is afraid if her Army Reserve unit knew she is having psychological problems, she would be forced to quit. Counselors say many others are too afraid or ashamed to come forward. For yet another generation of veterans, it could take years before their war is over. Linda Patillo, ABC News, Birmingham, Alabama.
And reflecting on another war in Paris at the Arc de Triomphe, French President Mitterrand led solemn ceremonies commemorating the 48th anniversary of the Allied victory over Nazi Germany that ended World War II in Europe. When we come back, credit card rates and how consumers are profiting from the cutthroat competition.
When you were a child, you were told we're all created equal. But now that you're a little older, you see things a bit differently. The new Lexus GS Luxury Performance Sedan. It's roomier, quieter, and rides smoother than cars costing thousands more. Maybe we are all created equal, but it doesn't have to stay that way. See your Lexus dealer for treatment that's unequaled.
Look, I'm eating corn on the cob, thanks to Super Poly Grip in the easy-to-use pump.
Super Poly Grip holds so tight, many denture wearers can enjoy more of their favorite foods, even corn on the cob. Super Poly Grip.
If you are willing to give up AT&T quality on a business call to Seoul, another company's rate could save you 8-1. In your money, that's about 1 cent.
Leaving AT&T doesn't make a lot of sense.
Orchard Crisps? Where are my Harvest Crisps?
Relax, Reg. They're still here. Orchard Crisps are a new idea.
With whole grains and the taste of real fruit baked in. Delicious. Apple cinnamon.
And banana walnut.
They're both low in fat. These are incredible. I'm speechless.
For once.
New Orchard Crisps. A low-fat cracker with the taste of real fruit. I love them.
Why did Hertz invent #1 Club Gold service? To beat the rush hour. See, every plane and everybody seems to land at once. But with Gold service, there's no stopping at the counters and no paperwork. Instead, you go nonstop to your waiting car with your name in lights. Only Hertz has #1 Club Gold. The best reason yet why Hertz beats the rush hour. To Hertz, the rest of the day is a piece of cake.
Police have arrested Mark Hilbin. He's the fired postal worker who went on a shooting spree in the Dana Point, California post office on Thursday, killing a letter carrier and wounding 3 other people. Hilbin was apprehended at a sports bar in nearby Huntington Beach, where he was recognized by a customer who called the police. Hilbin is also suspected of stabbing his mother to death before the post office incident and of shooting 2 people during a robbery at a bank machine early today. Agents of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms who participated in the original raid at the Branch Davidian compound in Waco, Texas, were back at the scene today and attended church services nearby to grieve for the 4 ATF agents who lost their lives. Across the Plains states, they're assessing the damage from a dozen tornadoes that descended violently yesterday, killing at least 2 people. In Brookings, South Dakota, winds up to 126 miles per hour ripped the roofs from a number of buildings, including this student dorm at South Dakota State University. In southwestern Minnesota, storms flattened farm buildings and knocked down trees and power lines. Consumers are getting caught in a barrage of frantic overtures from credit card companies. Card issuers are offering lower rates and other incentives for the privilege of picking up the buying public's debt. More from ABC's Sheila Cast.
It's a high-powered ad campaign.
They're earning 5% on every purchase and applying those earnings toward new GM cars and trucks.
Vanessa Ragland switched to General Motors' new credit card to shave 1/4 off her interest rate, and in the process got part of the down payment on her new Grand Prix.
I have several credit cards, but I choose to use this one because of the lower rate and the rebate. And now that I've used the rebate, it makes me want to use it more because I actually got some benefits from it.
Ragland is one of millions taking advantage of more competition in the credit card industry. More competition on rates.
Credit card rates have now collapsed. I mean, they've now at the lowest level in the industry's history. The average for this month is slightly below 16.5%.
That's down more than 2% from 2 years ago. Many issuers charge lower rates to customers with good credit histories, or extra low temporary rates to customers who switch balances. Issuers also compete with coupons or frequent flyer miles.
I might as well be working my way towards a nice vacation.
And they compete with rebates on appliances, on cars.
The new Ford Citibank Visa. Now this is a better idea.
Or even the closing costs of buying or refinancing a home.
For a rebate that'll raise the roof. Consumers are not only switching their accounts, they're taking their balances with them.
With thousands of choices, consumers need not only to shop around, but to focus on what's most important.
Bottom line is the interest rate. And if it's going to be much higher, you may be much better off getting a card that has a lower interest rate and just pocketing the savings.
Customers are in the driver's seat. 1 out of 5 canceled at least one card last year.
Today, the romance shifts into high gear.
To romance their customers and court new ones, credit card companies are pushing extra benefits plus lower rates.
That gives you more options.
Works for me. Sheila Cast, ABC News.
Coming up next, Dick Schaap with today's sports news. Give us a preview, Dick.
Judd, Seattle and Houston soar in the NBA playoffs. The Mets sink deeper into last place, and the Philadelphia Phillies of all teams are enjoying life at the top.
Hit well.
Under cover of darkness, you could be under attack. By land, air, even water. Unless your home's under the care and protection of Ortho. It's our nature to help.
It has a highly advanced, finely tuned suspension, a powerful V6 engine, and a specially designed steering system that responds instantly to the slightest turn of the wheel. The 7-passenger Nissan Quest. It doesn't handle like a car. It handles like a very good car. A Nissan Quest. It's time to expect more from a minivan.
The Inner Plaque Power Toothbrush fights gum disease by deep cleaning teeth, nearly plaque-free. And 20 clinical studies prove it cleans better than ordinary brushing. Watch. Ordinary brushes can miss between teeth, but Inner Plaque's powerful twisting bristles reach between teeth and under the gum line to clean teeth nearly plaque-free. A difference you can feel and your dentist can see. The Inner Plaque Power Toothbrush from Bausch & Lomb powers away gingivitis.
Miss Buckley!
Conrad!
They had a love affair with butter, but cholesterol ended that romance until...
William! I can't believe it's not butter.
I can't believe it's not butter. The taste you love without the cholesterol.
If it were clothing, it would likely be the basic black dress. But it's a floor called Mannington Gold, designed to start beautiful and stay beautiful for years to come. Guaranteed. Mannington Gold, the look that lasts.
And now back to New York. Dick Schaap and the sports. Dick?
Thank you, Judd. Houston and Seattle advance to the antepenultimate round of the NBA playoffs today. That's the next to last round. Hakeem Olajuwon, who finished with 31 points, helped Houston open a 16-point lead in the fourth quarter. But the LA Clippers rallied and took the lead till Vernon Maxwell's last-minute three-pointer put the Rockets back in front for good. Seattle also rallied in the second half, its surge triggered by veteran Sam Perkins, who hit 4 three-point shots. Oscar De La Hoya, the only American boxer to win a gold medal in Barcelona, won his 7th straight professional fight today, making Frankie Avalar his 6th knockout victim. For the New York Mets, this is the worst time of year, the baseball season. Dave Magadan, a discarded Met, now plays for the Florida Marlins, who embarrassed the Mets today, the New Yorkers sinking deeper into last place. The Mets don't love last place. On the whole, they'd rather be in first.
The Twins are going to win the World Series.
2 years ago, the Minnesota Twins began a great baseball tradition.
It's a 1-0 10-inning victory.
They became the first major league team to go from last place one season to world champions the next.
And the Phillies win it.
The Philadelphia Phillies would like to continue that great tradition. The Phillies finished last in the National League East a year ago. On merit.
I don't know how to say it and be nice, but we're just not good.
Now, 1 month into the 1993 season, the Phillies have the best record in the big leagues.
In 91, we came in here hoping to win. In 92, we came in here hoping to not get killed. And this year, we come in knowing we can win.
Williams is one of the reasons the Phillies know they can win. He leads the major leagues in saves, but he is only one of a dozen heroes, many of them unlikely. One day, Curt Schilling, a truly gifted young pitcher, pitches a shutout to win a game. The next day, Lenny Dykstra, who almost died in a car crash 2 years ago, hits a home run to win a game. One day, Milt Thompson, discarded by the St. Louis Cardinals, makes a leaping catch to save a victory. The next day, Mickey Morandini, a little-known second baseman, makes a diving catch to save a victory. John Kruk, the best hitter on the team, hits a 14th-inning home run to lift the Phillies to 1 victory. And a wild pitch in the 10th inning lifts the Phillies to another victory, 9-8, after trailing 8-0.
We literally feel when we walk through those doors that we can beat anybody at any given day.
The Phillies seem to be able to win even when their play is somewhat less than graceful. They are the French Foreign Legion of baseball, unshaven and unruly, rejects and retreads, mercenary warriors ruled over by a smart manager, Jim Fregosi, who 21 years ago was a central figure in the dumbest trade of all time.
I played 18 years. I'm going to manage a long time. And the one thing they'll always remember is that I got traded for Nolan Ryan.
In Philadelphia, Fregosi has a pitcher, Larry Anderson, who at 40 is almost as old as Ryan and is much funnier.
Why do they sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" when they're already there?
What other team offers comedy and drama? No wonder the Phillies have the hottest ticket office in town.
It's just incredible. I mean, the phones are ringing off the hook. Usually by this time of the year, we're out of the race.
And this year?
They're going to win the World Series. Absolutely. No question. No doubt in my mind.
Spoken like a true ticket seller. Judd?
So why do they sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" if you're already there?
That's one of the mysteries of life.
That it is. When we come back in Santa Cruz, California, the sound and the fury.
For only $289 a month. And no down payment. Look at all you get. Introducing the 1993 Toyota Camry lease. Everything you've heard is true.
If you are willing to give up AT&T quality for a business call to Milan, and at a company's rate would save you 16 lira. In your money, that's about 1 cent?
Leaving AT&T doesn't make a lot of sense.
One shot,
takes for weeds. Roundup.
I'm Sam Donaldson. Sunday on our This Week program, troubles at home and troubles abroad for Bill Clinton. Can the president cope with the stagnant economy in Bosnia? Sunday.
It was Shakespeare who said, "If music be the food of love, play on." But Shakespeare might have changed his mind if he'd ever visited Santa Cruz, California. ABC's Gary Shepard has, and he reports now on the town where melody has turned into malady.
The city of Santa Cruz, south of San Francisco, has always welcomed street musicians. In fact, there may be as many as 200 of them trying to make a living here, along Pacific Avenue, a popular tourist district. But lately, there's been a problem. Some performers have worn out their welcome.
There's some people under the cover of being street musicians are just obnoxious, and they drive the people that work in the stores here and own the stores and some of the customers crazy.
What the heck? I'll fill out a check.
The street performer furor has prompted the city of Santa Cruz to consider a new law to force musicians to move after a certain amount of time. 1, 2, perhaps 3 hours. Details are still being debated.
You get some people that are just tone deaf, and you know, God bless them, they keep trying, but they just are, it's like listening to your kid practicing the violin. There's a certain point where you just have to get out of the house.
But local merchants can't move. They're stuck when a less than terrific musician picks on them.
If you have somebody singing off key for a couple of hours in front of your store, it'll drive you insane.
Some performers readily admit they do repeat themselves.
I'll be working on one, you know, and I'll play it over and over. It's because I don't know it yet.
Did you feel it? Did you feel it? You might have remembered them. I was at the last concert.
Others are also humble about their musical abilities and would not fight some reasonable rules.
Personally, I know I'm pretty annoying myself, and you know, not many people can bother with having me in one place at a certain amount of time to begin with anyway.
The city council is expected to vote on the street performer law sometime next month. For many here, it can't happen soon enough.
I love you, I love you.
Gary Shepard, ABC News, Santa Cruz, California.
Makes you kind of appreciate mimes. That's World News Saturday. I'm Judd Rose. For all of us here at ABC News, good night.
Saturday on the Commish.
Somebody has raped and slashed 2 blind women in the last week.
Tony has too many suspects and not enough time.
Thinks he's safe because his victims are blind. Somehow we got to prove him wrong.
An all-new Commish, Saturday.
Welcome to Haven, Stephen King's kind of town.
There's something going on here, and you know it.
Jimmy Smits, Marg Helgenberger, Joanna Cassidy, E.G. Marshall, Tracy Lords. The Tommyknockers Sunday.
I'm here with international recording star Joe. We are trying out some international chicken sandwiches here at Burger King.
I love this place.
Okay, now there's 3 different nationalities, 3 different toppings. The French, what does it have on it? Ham, Swiss, and mayo. The Italian, mozzarella and marinara. The American cheese, lettuce, tomato, and mayo. Why don't you try that and just tell me what you think of?
Yes, I like that.
Cruise into Burger King and get the international chicken sandwiches. It's your way, right away. Say I love this place in Italian.
I love this place in Italian.
When people see that Consumers Digest and the car book called Bonneville a Best Buy, they sometimes worry about how much it could cost. When we tell them the Bonneville comes standard with a driver's side airbag and anti-lock brakes, they think it must be pretty pricey. But when they see that Bonneville is $10,000 to $20,000 less than a BMW or Lexus with 3.9% financing for 48 months, they stop worrying about how much it might cost and enjoy how little it actually does cost. Now, at the Pontiac people of Middle Tennessee and Western Kentucky.
Allergy update plus first weather tonight on Channel 2 News.